Vampire's Husband, Chapter 4, Part 5. At first glance, everything was exactly as Murray described. Jack really didn't have to do anything. He was completely safe, for now anyway, and his actions were in no way limited. At least, that was his first day in this huge castle, which clearly did not correspond in scale to the number of its inhabitants. Everything here was incredibly big, pompous, and therefore not very cozy. The same kind was the dining room, where his long-awaited breakfast took place. Although the word dining room was probably not the most appropriate here. Rather, it was a dining hall. It was terribly large, with an equally terrible long table for at least 70 people, and with high velvet chairs looked more like armchairs. Jack had to sit at the head of this nightmarish table, which gave him a lot of unpleasant sensations in the first minutes. Nevertheless, thanks to the fact that there was almost no one in the hall except for the two knocked girls who served him at the table, and thanks to the hunger that had been tormenting him for a long time, breakfast was quite pleasant, especially since the food, of course, was also royal. Then he went back to his room, asking Murray on the way where he could wash here. The knock gave him a rather unexpected answer. It turned out that Jack's room had an exit to the bathroom, and he only needed to press a special lever in the wall to the left of the bed to open it. This is exactly what he did upon his return, and found himself in some truly fantastic place. It was something like a small room with a floor and walls lined with smooth, light gray tiles, and a big bathtub in the center. Meanwhile, the most interesting thing was the ceiling, which resembled the vault of a cave. It was all covered with small dark stalactites, of which there were especially many in the center of the ceiling. Approaching the top, Jack noticed two silver levers on its side, which were supposed to pull down. Pulling one of them, Jack exhaled in amazement, because water flowed abundantly from imperceptible cracks in the stalactites, falling straight into the white tub. The water was crystal clear, but terribly cold, as Jack became convinced of after a short check. Then he pulled down the second lever and was even more amazed. The cold water began to warm up and soon reached the ideal temperature for a normal well-being. Thus, the least of the problems was successfully solved. As soon as he came out of the bathroom and began to struggle with the knotty collar of his unfortunate shirt, someone knocked shortly on the door. He immediately opened it and saw Murray on the threshold, whose visit was quite predictable. In his hands he was holding a familiar blue box that Jack had successfully left on the edge of a table in the blue living room. "You forgot it," said the knocked, handing him the humiliating object. "Wait a minute." Jack took the box and rushed to the wardrobe. Pulling out the lowest drawer, he slipped the ring into a pile of neatly folded pajamas, and then returned to Murray with a calm soul. "There are gardens here, right? I would like to see them. Will you show me?" Jack did not miss the knock's quick glance, which twitched to his right hand and immediately rose back to his face. Murray seemed to think that he had disappeared into the room to put on the ring, and it was even a little funny. "Follow me." In Murray's even tone, Jack thought he detected a slight coolness, even discontent, but it did not make a big impression on him. He was not going to wear the ring even in case of mortal necessity. He had already become the husband of a man, and besides, this man was almost completely unknown to him. His self-esteem had already suffered, and he had no desire to deepen the wound.